So here we have the instructions for the cloth face mask. I've printed all 4 sheets out. You wouldn't have to do that one, but basically this is the first page we're interested in. If you have printed it out to the correct size, this square at the bottom should be 1 inch on each side. Just make sure when you're cutting your template, and I think it's a good idea to do so, that you make sure that the bottom is 7.5 inches long and 8 3/4 inches up the side. You then take your template and you find fabric. You want to have light fabric. All I had was light blue at the moment. And you want to lay it out so it's doubled over, so you're cutting 2 pieces with each cut, or with each rectangle. So you replace that, you cut round it, obviously space it so you use as much of the fabric as you can, as well as you can, and you'll have a pile of these rectangle sets. So this is us here. Imagine it's not got the pleats in it, you've got plain. What the first thing it tells you to do in step number 1 is to take up the hems at the bottom. You want to do the hems so that they turn to the wrong side. If you're using plain fabric, it doesn't matter too much. Just make sure that you sew the hems quite small at the bottom. So you turn it once through the machine, turn it again through, so it's a double hem at the bottom. This is now the bottom of the face mask, and the raw edge along the top is along the top. And I found a quick way of doing this was to actually cut templates, 4 different templates. One that is 6 centimetres wide, and I deliberately made them all longer so that I could see them at either side of the fabric when I fold over. First one, 6 centimetres. Second one, 8.5 centimetres wide. Third one, 13.5 centimetres wide. Fourth, 16 centimetres wide. And this is how I did it, and it made it very quick for the folds. So it's down with the raw edge, the top edge to the left. I take the first one and I put it along the left side and I fold the fabric over. Press the fabric, remove it. On the top side I've got the first one. I jump to 3 because on the right side of the fabric you do 1 and 3, template 1 and 3. I lay it down to the left side, I turn over, I press. At this point I take the fabric and I turn it to the wrong side. And I'm doing 2 all the time because it saves time, because you're doing 2 at the end together. I take number 2 and 4 for this side. So this is number 2. I fold over. I steam it. Sometimes you might want to, in fact all of the time I did, I actually removed it and then I went over to press it down. And then number 4, so it's 2 and 4 on the wrong side. And then you over and you press it. Take this off. Flip it back to the right side with the hem at the bottom, and if you fix the folds you'll have 1 and 2 and you've got your mask folds. And again just press it, and you're ready for the next stage. It's just a quick way of doing it. You want to take it and separate it, so now we're working on them individually at the moment. You might at this point secure the pleats before running it through the machine. It just helps to hold it together, and you should end up with this. So you've got the bottom hem, this is the front. I've put a pin there to remind you that it's the front. You don't need that because you can clearly see it's the front because the hem is turned to the back. But you should have the pockets at the top, raw edge is always the top, and both down the right and the left side are secured at the moment. Here we are at step number 3. We have the 2 separate pieces, both with the 1/4 inch seam up the side holding the pleats together, both right side up. Now we put the right sides together, so, and we are going to sew along the top raw edge to join these pieces together. Just quickly. when we open it up, we've joined the sides, and now we need to take this over and iron out the seam. And iron it so it's nice and flat. I've opened it so you've got the right side up, and I'm going to iron along the seam here. I'm going to turn it so you get that seam nice and clear there at the edge, because you're going to be sewing the nose piece in a moment, so you want to be able to have it nice and edged. Okay, so now we have the mask wrong sides together and has been pressed flat. At this point you can use some chalk, fabric chalk, to mark the seam that would be at the top. This is for the nose piece, the metal nose piece that would be put in by staff or whoever's going to use the mask. I've done it that many times, I'm not going to use the chalk and mark it, because what I'm doing is I'm actually using ones I've done before, and I place it side by side so that I can go down at the right section. It gives me a little bit of an idea where I'm going to go down. So I know that I'm going to go down about 1 centimetre on this side. I'll turn the fabric, and then I'm going to go along, and again I use the one I had before. Clearly shows how far along I'm going. This is all done, this sewing on the right side of the fabric. You can see that you leave a gap so that when they're putting the nose piece in, they go up underneath and they can get in there to put the piece of metal along. I've got one more wee bit to do here, and again using the other one as a template. I can see it's going to be there. This is quicker for me at the moment, and I'm just going to go down and reverse a little bit, and that's the other piece done. Once I've cut off all the fray edges, you can see that I've got the nose piece done. So this is the last step, I think it's number 5. Yep, number 5, you want to cut 36 inch of bias tape. This is for both sides of the mask, and it also holds the whole thing together. I've done one side, and you want to make sure that you have 16 inches up either side, or up and down either side of the actual mask, so that they can tie it behind their head and so forth. Anyway, that's it. I'll go do the other side now, and we'll come back. Here we are, it's the finished mask. Clever design with the space at the bottom so they can access the nose piece to put in. It got the bias at both sides so they can tie it. It's a bit more stretchy bias, so it's clever. We're done here. We can sew it, folks. Let's get production lines going and help out a bit if we can.